When I was 27, I had a girlfriend and we broke up. Soon after, met her next boyfriend, soon to be her husband, and started a new life, and within 3 months I saw my life becoming someone else's, and I was devastated. And I looked at the globe and I said, I've got to be somewhere else, and I rotated the globe and I chose the other side of the world, and I said, I'm going there. And on the flight, next to me was this beautiful girl, and we started chatting over the flight. The 10 hours in Zurich together, we fell in love. The affair started right away, and we discussed everything, and she talked to me about the US and really taught me everything one needs to know about American relationships. She taught me about all the stages that Americans have for relationships, becoming dating exclusively, dating, falling in love, and all the steps that I have to go through. She met my parents, and the affair was really intense. I knew everything about her, and I felt that she really understands me more than anyone else. She was gonna go back to Los Angeles after 2 months in Israel. I bought a ticket, and since I was moving to a new country, I had to take a lot of stuff with me. I had a lot of things, I need many clothes, many books, and I couldn't take all of that into my 2 suitcases, but she didn't have much, and I asked her, Danielle, would you mind taking some of my stuff, like basically taking another suitcase? And there's something I need to tell you. And I said, what do you mean? Like, well, I didn't know what to come. She says, the reason I can't take your stuff with me is that as we land in Los Angeles, my boyfriend is gonna wait for me at the airport. She never mentioned having a boyfriend, and I really didn't think that she had one when she constantly called me her boyfriend and planned our life together as we arrive in Los Angeles. She says, look, he was my boyfriend for 5 years now. I don't really see him. We should have broken up long ago, but I didn't break up with him because I didn't want to do it over the phone. So I am going to break up with him. I want it to happen slowly, so why don't you give me a few days? And when we land, she kisses me and she says, from now on, I'm going separately. And then I see Danielle, my girlfriend, at the other side, being approached by a young guy. They kiss, and I'm looking at it from far away, and I say, oh my God, that's my girlfriend with her boyfriend. And then they walked away in his car, and I took a cab to a little lonely motel where I was starting my days. And basically, for a few days, I was the other guy. I was not allowed to call Danielle. She would only call me. Every day there was something else, like, well, I can't break up with him today, one more day, today is not a good day, he's very, very busy and I don't want to break him, and I just see him, and every day there was another reason. And after 3 weeks, she came to me and she said, I'm not going to break up with him. The main reason is the following. I'm going back to Chicago at the end of the summer. There's no reason to break up with him or to kind of break your heart. I'm going to be away from the two of you, so I'm just leaving you the way it is. And she left. And here I was in the same town with the other boy, waiting for our girlfriend to come back from Chicago in a year. And after a few days or a few weeks, I decided enough, and I ended. I moved on with my life. When she suddenly chatted with me on computer and said, I broke up with my boyfriend, and now I'm single. And I said, I've been waiting for this to happen for a while. I'm coming to Chicago now. I want to see you. She said, I can't wait to see you. 3 days before my scheduled arrival in Chicago, I took a car and I drove overnight to see the love of my life. And I arrived in Chicago around 5 a.m. I should just wait outside for a few hours until like it's 8:30, and then I'll knock on her door and surprise her arriving 3 days in advance. And so I did. I stayed in my car and fell asleep the moment I woke up by chance, and I saw her coming out with her little dog and another man. And this was not her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend now. It wasn't me. There was a third guy, the Keith, in a way that makes it clear that he is definitely a third guy in the story. And so I went straight away. She was very surprised and all white when I approached her. She said, what are you doing here? I thought you were supposed to be arriving in 3 days. And I said, yeah, I made it a little earlier because I wanted to see you. She introduced me to her other guy and we shook hands, and she started mumbling something. Said, I have to explain to you. I said, it's okay. And I walked away and flew back. After a while, great to talk to her and listen to the story. She explained to me that apparently there were 8 guys all over the US. Basically every city she had another boy.